Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa and this is Melissa Knits for Fun. Well, today guys, I have a ton of whips. I haven't gotten anything complete this week. I really should focus on getting my test knit done, but that has just not been my focus. I started a new job this week and I've had a lot of time to just sit and knit while I'm in meetings, and so I've gotten quite a bit done. I have several that I'm knitting on during the meetings that are just knitting. I'm not really doing anything else with those. So I have gotten quite a bit done. Add onto that I hardly ever leave my house unless I'm going to the yarn store or the grocery store, and it makes for a lot of knitting, and I do a lot of procrastinating that I saw today on Instagram, and that's where you've got a ton of things to do and you put them all off in order to knit. I am so guilty of that. Let me know if y'all are guilty of that as well. All right guys, so let's start off today with what I'm wearing, and y'all have seen this right before the end of the year. I didn't wear it for that podcast because it was a little chilly, and I did wear a long sleeved sweater, but I did show this, and this is the Salty Days. This is a pattern by Veronica Lindbergh or Kutakavika. I love this pattern. Absolutely love this pattern. I have one in white that is long sleeved. I made this one, as you can see, sleeveless. I just simply picked up and put a ribbing around where I would pick up for sleeves. Not sure how I love it. I think I could have maybe made these a little bit bigger, but I do really love the pattern, and I really love the color. Not so in love with the yarn. This yarn is the Sandus Garn Tick Lena, and while it is made up of the same composition that the Lena and the Tin Lena is, which is a cotton viscose linen blend, it is a bulkier weight yarn, and so it's heavy, guys. I feel this when I'm wearing it. This is not a light summer top. It's a heavy summer top, and so I'm not really sure I'm going to be wearing this in the dead of summer in July and August, which is when I really want to wear it since it is sleeveless. So I'm just not really sure, and I kind of understand now why Sandus Garn has just discontinued this line altogether. They have completely discontinued Tick Lena. But this is in the color, I believe it's Jolly Blue, and they do have this electric and Jolly Blue in other bases, so it is a really beautiful cobalt blue. I would like to do another one of these in cobalt blue, but maybe with a lighter yarn, because I really do just love this color and I love this pattern. I have another one planned in a hot pink, and I'm going to be using Pink Daisies by Knitting for Olive, and their heavy merino and mohair held together, and so that may be coming this winter. We'll see what else comes in and goes, hey, knit me instead, but right now it's kind of on the radar to get that done this winter. All right, so moving right along, I do have a bunch of whips, and I'm going to show y'all, this will show y'all how insane I am and how much I have on my needles. I have this little notebook here. All of these are works in progress that I'm actually working on. It's stupid. It's stupid. Oh my gosh, why am I working on so much? But it's because I'm so obsessed. But I keep this next to me. I had to do this because I kept losing my patterns, and I like to print them out. I'm just not a girl that does electronic patterns. I just don't. I don't want to have to keep my iPad on, and I can't see it on my phone. My old eyes, I got to have a bigger thing, so I've got to have my iPad, and I don't want to keep my Knit Companion up all the time and have to charge my iPad and all that. And you know what? I'm old school. I am 56 years old. We didn't have electronics. I didn't grow up with electronics, right? It was a big deal when we got a VHS. It was a big deal. And when we got a microwave, whoo, look out, we were uptown, right? So I didn't grow up with these kinds of electronics. So printed patterns are very much the norm for me. So I keep this next to my chair, and if I need to look at the pattern, it's really easy. I just thumb through until I get to the one that I'm working on. All right, and I do have multiple of these books for different things. Like I also have one when I cleaned, or I organized my yarn, what's this thing called? My shelving unit here with my yarns. I also found a whole bunch of patterns up there that were tucked under yarn and all that, and I had to stop and think a minute about what all I was going to knit with it. And so what I did was I took those patterns and I put a piece of highlighter tape and I wrote down what yarn up there that I'm actually going to knit this with. So that will keep me more organized, and then this will go back up there as soon as I get all of the patterns printed and put in here that I currently own, that I plan to use my yarn off of the shelving unit for. All right, and speaking of that, I actually took some footage of my shelving unit showing what all's up there, and I thought that I might do a little bit of a stash tour, and that would be the start of it. Y'all can let me know if you want me to say focus on all of the mohair that I have, or all of the Holzgarn Super Soft, or all of the whatever. Let me know if you're interested in having some kind of stash tour, and I can break it up into smaller videos as well, because I do have, if I gave y'all a stash tour of everything, it would take hours. I have so much yarn. But I would be happy to pull down, say, all of the coast, Holzgarn Coast I have, and show y'all what colors I have in that, and what colors of the Titicaca I have that goes with it, or the Lucia, or whatever, or pull out all of my mohair and talk about where I got the mohair, what the differences are, etc. All right, so just let me know what you think about that as well. All right, guys, I have, first up, I'm going to talk about my test whip, or my test knits, and they're both still whips. They are both by the Knit Pearl Girl, or Sophie Hemmings, I believe is her last name. And the first one up that is due the end of May, so I've got plenty of time, which is why I haven't been urgent on this. This is the Waffle Tee. It is absolutely beautiful. I love this lace pattern. It is so pretty. I cannot wait to wear it. And honestly, I'm almost there. I've knitted quite a bit on it. I've got probably another inch or inch and a half done of this. It's getting really, really close. I keep trying it on, and it's getting really close to where that I could go ahead and start binding off. But I think I'm just going to keep knitting, because every time I do that, then I'm like, oh, I could bind it off. It winds up being a little bit short, so I'm just going to keep going. I made myself do that with the Zuri sweater, and I love the length of it, and I love how it fits. So I am going to force myself to keep knitting on this. But if I focus, and I think I would like to focus this week, I can probably get this done this week. We shall see. But for now, I am just knitting away. It is absolutely stunning. There are some beautiful, beautiful knits in the chat that, oh, so many beautiful colors. There's a red one made out of Trio. It's either Trio 1 held together or Trio 2, but it's strawberry. I may have to get me some of that Assayer Trio yarn. Oh my gosh. That strawberry is just beautiful. I saw that and I thought, oh, I need a red one. I need a red one in a really bad way. We'll see. Maybe I'll have a red different sweater, because I tend to not do multiples of the same one, just because I don't feel the need to have more than one. There are exceptions. Obviously, I've got 2 of these. I've got several Tolsta Tees. I've got several Monday sweaters. But most things I just knit, I'm one and done. We'll see if this one becomes a repeat or not. And the yarn that I'm using for this, and I've talked about this quite a bit, this yarn is the Noro Sonata. It's in the colorway Magenta. I love it. I don't mind the subtle striping. You know, it's a tonal yarn. It's got a little bit of striping. What I do mind is the slubbiness. I don't like slubby yarn. I have discovered this. I don't love slubby yarn. Somebody commented last week that the Juniper Moon Zoe is also slubby, and I did notice that whenever I was knitting a little bit with it, with the red. I have enough of that in my stash that I'm just going to have to push through and do it anyway. But I don't love slubby yarn. I just won't be buying more that's slubby. I just don't love it. Everybody loves something different. Letha loves slubby yarn. All right. Well, then knit away with slubby yarns. I will choose not to. I really just don't like it, because whenever it's slubby and you see, you'll get these funky, like there's some funkiness in here, and there's some tension issues when you go from big to little. So I don't love that part, but boy, do I love this color. It's not going to stop me from knitting with Noro yarns. It's not going to stop me from knitting with slubby yarns. I will just have to love the yarn enough to be okay with it being slubby. This color I love enough. It's okay. And I'd already committed to it. So I will be working on that. Hopefully get it done next week. We'll see, because I do tend to get, like, it irritates me too, because if it goes from thin to large, it's harder to knit without looking. So it's hard for me to knit in meetings, and that irritates me a little bit. So I hadn't been working on it as much as maybe I should have. But I had a couple of other things that were distracting me, and they had to do with sleeves. So I'm a little bit tangled here. Let me get untangled. My little sloths have decided that they wanted to catch on some things. But my other test knit is the Cove sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl. And I got a sleeve done. And guys, I want you to look at this. She has you do some really cool, like, decorative decreases here. And so you can see it comes down and it kind of blouses a little bit. And you've got this little, let me see if I can get it to where you can actually see the decorative thing. You see there's a little bit here, and it's really, really pretty when you're holding it up. It just makes this little, I don't know, it's just a little decorative thing there. It looks really cool. I tried it on and it does look really nice. It's hard to hold up like this, but I am in love with this. This will become a repeat. I know it will become a repeat because whoo, I am in love with this collar. In fact, I thought about, because I want to knit that green swatch that I did with the dark green mohair. I want to do the green in one of these, but I have a Monday sweater, which is perfect for that yarn combo. I've already got a Monday sweater in that yarn combo in black. And so I know it's perfect, but I thought, you know what I could do is just change the collar and the ribbing to 2x2 instead of 1x1. And that would change how that looks. So that's probably what I'll do, because that's already got all the gauge worked out and I know all of the numbers and everything, and I won't have to try to do any gauge switcheroo. But I am obsessed with this collar. It is so, so pretty. And then on the sleeves, on this, the ribbing here, she had you do a Rook bind off. And I went and watched the entire video of the Rook bind off that has how to finish with the final 3 and everything. And that made a difference. How she started too was a little bit different than how I was starting. So I do like this better than I did the last time that I used the Rook bind off. And so I'm going to get the other sleeve done. I'll pick up for it. It may or may not get done this week. I'll at least get it started. And the yarn that I'm using for this is the Rowan Felted Tweed in the colorway Bilberry, and then the mohair in the colorway Black Currant. And I'm trying to hold this up to see if y'all can see, because when I'm sitting here, I can clearly see the blue and the kind of ochre color, but when I'm looking at it on screen, really all I'm seeing from the Tweedy bits is the white. But there is blue, there's an ochre, there's the white. That may be it for the Tweedy bits, but it is just stunning. I love these colors together, and since I have done this every single week, well, I want this week because I didn't bring the yarn in here. I was going to say I'd show the yarn again, but what I will say is the Felted Tweed by itself is a little bit muted. It's a beautiful color, but it's just not as vibrant as I would like it to be. And then the mohair by itself is really, really dark, which is fine. It's a really dark purple, almost black. I love that colorway, and I would wear that by itself for sure. But boy, you put these two together, and they are special together. They just make this beautiful, incredibly rich and deep color. I just am in love with this. I cannot wait to wear it. When I get it finished, I will put it on. I'll have to have a fan on. I may have to have some ice packs, but I will put it on and wear it for a podcast. All right, and I figure this isn't going to be done for a while. It's not due until September, so there is no hurry on it. It does keep distracting me because it is gorgeous and it makes me want to knit on it. And it's knit on a size US 8 needle, so it goes really fast. I either have 8s. I have one that's a 7, or no, 2. I have one that's a 7, one that's a 6, a couple that are 8s, and then a lot of 2.5s. So I'm kind of at one extreme or the other. That is it for my test knits. I've been good. I have not applied for any other ones. I did apply today for one that's by Kadri. That's this really pretty t-shirt. I doubt I'll get it. I've applied for several of her things. I never get hers. So no big deal. No harm, no foul. Lots of people ask for my size. I don't care. I probably will not get that, so I am not going into that thinking that I will. All right, and I've resisted the other ones. All right, so moving right along, I am going to, if I can figure out how the heck this is tangled up. There we go. I'm going to talk about my newest cast on now because I'm going to shift into gift knitting. And I've only got 2 gift knits that I've been working on. And this actually is one of my acquisitions as well. But this I have cast on for Sarah's Coffee Date sweater. And Coffee Date is by Samantha Guerin. And I am using the Yarnsmith, which is Wool Warehouse's in-house brand. And this is their Superwash Merino DK. And this is the color Sarah picked out. She wanted a really pretty like blue-gray color. I didn't have that in my stash. I have a lot of blues in my stash. Not this color. This is not my color. So I let her look. She picked out this color and I ordered it. And it came in this week. In fact, both of my Wool Warehouse orders have come in. But I have just gotten started. And this colorway is Fjord Blue. And it's really nice. It's really soft. Now, I will say I've noticed it's pilly. So it is going to be a little bit pilly. I'll have to let her know how to take care of it if it pills on her. But you can just de-pill it. It's not a big deal. I mean, Malabrigo Rios does the same thing. And I've just got started. This is the first 2. It's the setup rounds. And then the first, 6 rows, I think it is, of the chart. And then I'll go on. And this is just the back. It is a drop shoulder. So it's the typical, you do the back, then you pick up the fronts, and you join them in the round. Not a lot done on that, but I did get this cast on because I wanted to get started because I don't want to be stressed about Christmas knits. All right. I haven't worked on my brother's at all, but I did work on my friend Shauna's. And I got it last week. I said I wanted to get the one of the fronts picked up, and I did. I got it picked up and done. So I've got the left front is done. The back is done. Now I will pick up the right front. I had to frog on this one too because I picked up the wrong one. I kid Dana all the time. She will pick up for these and she picks up the wrong one. She says, oh, I'm supposed to pick up the left. So she picks up the left, which is actually, if you turn it around, it's the right. I did the same thing. And I texted her, I was like, I just did what you do. So I had picked it up and I realized whenever I went to start increasing for the V-neck and I was increasing on this, I was like, oh, no, that's not right. That's not right at all. So luckily I was just a few rows in. I frogged all that out. I picked up on the right side, meaning the left shoulder. And I picked that up and I got it worked. And as you can see, I have worked the V-neck. This is my friend Shauna's sweater. This is by Coco Amore Knits, or Cheryl Makatari is the pattern. It's the Saharan V-neck. And the yarn is the Holsgarn Coast in the colorway Fauna, held together with Holsgarn Titicaca, which is their lace weight alpaca in the colorway Mellow. I had to think for a minute. I was like, oh gosh, I just drew a blank, but it's the colorway Mellow. And it's really, really pretty. It's got a depth of color because that Mellow has a little bit of yellow in it and all of that. And it just is knitting up absolutely beautifully. I cannot wait. Green is one of Shauna's favorite colors, and this colorway in particular. So I will get this joined in the round hopefully next week because it really did not take much time at all to get this done. It's very fast. And hopefully I'll get this joined in the round. And then I can try it on her and make sure that we're good on fit. Because if not, that would be when I would need to rip it out instead of getting it way further down and then realizing that, oh, it's too big or it's too small and now I've got to rip out an entire sweater. Do not want to do that. So I will get that done hopefully next week. And then continuing with the theme of Cheryl Makatari, or Coco Amore Knits, I'll go ahead and talk about this one that I did not talk about for the last week or so because I had not been working on it. And that is my Edinburgh sweater. And I have to tell you, Dana is done. She was like, oh, you'll beat me, you'll beat me. No, I won't. I've got too much going on. She is done with hers. I just have the second sleeve done. I did the second sleeve this week, so I've got 2 sleeves now and the top. And I will tell myself again, I screwed up and I got the colors wrong here. Where you see this big white patch, it should actually be blue, and then these little blue things should be white, but I actually really like it. So that's a happy coincidence. I say, if it's a really visible mistake, I won't leave it if it's somewhere I'll see it. This is a really visible mistake, but it is a design choice at this point because I like how that turned out. And it wasn't like it was just one stitch. It was an entire chart that I got the colors backwards on. This is where I wish every designer did what Zanette Knits does. And I think there's somebody else, and I don't remember who else does it. But they do 2 charts. They do one for a light background and a dark contrast, and one for a dark background and a light contrast. This one just has one. She did a light background and a dark contrast, so that is what the colors are. A light background and a dark contrast. I just didn't think on this last part, and I did it exactly like that. I obviously am doing a dark background and a light contrast. But, like I said, I like how it turned out, and it's unique. Nobody else has it like this unless they decide to go do what I did. All right, I am a little worried. I have this ball and 4 more, and that is it. And these are 110 or 125 meters per 25 grams. I don't remember. Guys, that's a lot of body that I still got to go. So I'm a little worried I might be too short. Dana has said that hers is too short. She could not find, she thought she had another ball and she could not find it. So she thinks hers is a little bit short. If it comes up a little short, I will order more. I'm not going to sacrifice it. This is 100% cashmere, guys. This is knitted out of Cardiff Cashmere Classic in the colorway Romeo and Nev. I'm not sacrificing this cashmere sweater. I am going to wear it. So if it is too short, I will order more. And if I do that, I will order another sweater quantity. I've already picked out the color. It will be this beautiful pink. Because I already have red. And I have this. And I have a blue cashmere sweater already. So I will order a beautiful, beautiful pink. And I will figure out what sweater I'm going to do before I order it. So I can make sure that I order enough. But hopefully I will have enough, but I'm not positive that 5 is going to be enough. Because it's awfully short right now. It's just barely past my bust. I mean, if you see, when I put this on, it's just barely past my bust. So there's a lot still to knit. We'll see. If I do, I will reach out and I'll ask Dana if she wants me to throw her another ball or 2 in. All right, because if I'm going to pay the shipping, which is about 20 bucks, if I'm going to pay the shipping to get it over here, and then I don't remember if I have to pay duties on top of that or not, but if I'm going to have to pay all of that mess, I am buying more than just a few balls. So, all right, that is it for the Cheryl Makatari stuff. Now we will move on to my summer knits, because I've got, other than my test knit, I have 3 other summer knits I'm working on. I'll save one of them for last, because I want to ask y'all a question about your interest in something. So we'll start with, I really thought I was going to get this split for sleeves today before today's podcast, but it just didn't work. I did get it joined in the round, which is what I said I wanted to do last week. And so this is the Cumulus Tee by Petite Knit, and I'm knitting it out of the pure silk, the 100% knitting for olive, 100, or I can speak. It is knitting for olive pure silk, which is 100% Borat silk, which is a different type of silk. And I'll talk about that in just a second. So this is joined in the round. It is the Cumulus Tee. It is the V-neck. I didn't want the crew neck. And this one will probably also be a repeat knit. I'm really enjoying this. If it fits like I think it's going to, I may have to knit another one. But I've just got 5 more rows before I can split for sleeves. So I might try to get that done tonight after I record and whenever I'm sitting there watching TV with Shauna. She's coming over tonight. I'm assuming she still is. One of her very dear friends lost his mom this week, and services were today at 3. So today is Wednesday because that's when I record. So we'll see if she comes over tonight. If not, I will completely understand, but hopefully she will, and we will sit and watch our shows, and I will knit, and I think I probably will work on this to try to get it split for sleeves so that then everything is just kind of, I'm just going and I don't have to really think about knitting. So, very excited about this. I'm looking forward to some new summer knits because I wear my knits. I wear my knits all summer long. I am not one of these people that knits. I do have some that I knit in yarns before I really understood how the different compositions of yarns, and I do have some that I can only wear in the spring and in the fall because they're too warm to wear in the dead of summer. But I am knitting more that I can wear in the dead of summer. I'm making them out of 10 Lena, out of pure silk, cotton merino, because that's a 70% cotton, 30% merino. The coast is a little bit warm for me. It's a 55-45, and it's 55% wool. So that also is more of a transition and more of a like long sleeve blouse type situation for me. Speaking of cotton merino, oh, the colorway of that was haze, if I did not mention that. I am also knitting this top that I got whenever I went to the Fruity Knitting retreat last year. We had Claudia Quintanilla was there. She was the designer. It was their very first one. It was in Costa Rica, and she gave us this pattern. It has since been released, and it is on Ravelry, and you can buy it. At the time that we got it, it was not released yet, so we got it in advance. And so she gave us the pattern and the yarn for the pattern, and I chose the black and white. So originally it was this cream knitting for olive cotton merino, and it was black mohair. Well, mohair is not going on my body in the middle of summer, so I got navy blue in the cotton merino to go with it so that I could make it still kind of the colorway, right, with the black and white, but it's a navy blue. And I am loving this. This is the Soul Mosaic by Claudia Quintanilla. And like I said, the knitting for olive cotton merino in cream and navy blue. I just love this. But it's a drop shoulder. It's joining the round. I am just knitting on it. Nothing exciting. I did knit a little bit more. So I have gotten, I think last week whenever I showed y'all, I had just joined. Now, I haven't gotten a lot done, but I've got a little bit done. I've got a little bit of an underarm there. And it's another one of those, I'll pick it up whenever I'm in a meeting and just knit because all I'm doing is knitting. This one's really easy to knit without looking because the yarn is, it's not slubby and it's really easy to just knit along. Slubby yarns I have trouble with. The pure silk is not as easy either as the cotton merino is. So this is one of my meeting knits right now. Absolutely in love with this. Cannot wait to get my summer knits done. And then finally, and this is where I want to gauge some interest, I am knitting my 5th Tolsta Tee, and I'm making it black and white, and I've got the white attached. I don't quite have the white knit enough. I've got to knit quite a bit more before I have the stripe that I want, and it's not split for sleeves yet. I've got a little ways to go with that. And that is how it's coming along. One of the viewers asked me about hosting a knit along for a Tolsta Tee / tank. And you could knit either the Tolsta Tee, you can knit any weight. You can do the 4-ply, you can do the DK, you can do long sleeve, you can do short sleeve, you can do the eyelet, you know, anything you want to do Tolsta related, or she has the tank as well. If you would be interested in me hosting a knit along for this, let me know. Because if there is enough interest, I will organize a knit along. I'll put together a group chat on Instagram. If it gets big enough, I'll make a Discord channel or something, but probably just an Instagram chat group or WhatsApp, something like that. Y'all can let me know which way that you would rather go. Would you rather do a Discord, an Instagram, or a WhatsApp? And I can do any of those. And we could do a knit along. And if so, I'll reach out to Rebecca and ask if maybe she would like to contribute a pattern as one of the prizes, and then we'll figure out, I'll also do a pattern as a prize. So we'll have a couple of prizes, even if I have to do both patterns. If she's not interested, that's fine. But I will at least reach out and ask. But let me know. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in doing a knit along, then I would be happy to host it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I really love the social aspects of a knit along. So just let me know in the comments. Oh, and I guess I should talk about this. This is the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow. I'm doing the thick stripes. I'm doing black and white, obviously. I'm really loving this. Black and white is so classic. And I'm knitting it out of Sandus Garn Lena, and the colorways are black and white. Nothing fancy about those. I'm really excited about this. I'm very, very close to having it ready to split for sleeves. I think I've got to have 60, and I've got about 48 on the sleeves right now. So I'm getting close to being able to split these. And you can see how pretty that is. All right, and if we do a knit along, I will knit a different one. I will knit either a 4-ply long sleeve blouse out of Coast, or I will grab, I want to get some bamboo pop sock yarn. Jennifer at the shop is doing the Cumulus Tee out of one of those, and oh, the patterning is so beautiful. And I thought, oh, I want a fingering weight Tolsta Tee made out of that bamboo sock yarn. So I'm going to pick some of that up this weekend for local yarn store day. So next week I'll have some acquisitions from local yarn store day, because I've been saving up a little bit to be able to buy some stuff. All right, and that's really, there's not a lot to talk about this. This is one of my very favorite t-shirt patterns. It fits so, so well. And Rebecca she does such a great job with the patterns. I mean, this one has an entire file that's just suggestions of modifications. There's an eyelet one. There's the thick stripes. There's the thin stripes. There's some other ones. You can do it with bust darts or without bust darts. You can do long sleeve. You can do short sleeved. You can do fingering weight. You can do DK. I mean, it is just a wonderful, wonderful pattern. I love the value that you get out of Rebecca's patterns. Most of them come with many modifications in many different ways. The link sweater that I did last time, she had a long sleeve sweater. She had a cardigan. And she has a V-neck vest that you can add sleeves to, which is the next one that I'm going to be doing of that one, because that's going to be a repeat knit, because I need a V-neck Argyle sweater with long sleeves. Just saying. All right, and that is it for my whips. Lots and lots of stuff going on. And then, guys, I seem to be needing help a lot lately, but I need a little bit of help. I need your opinion. I was wearing this yesterday. We are in that phase of it is cold in the morning and I need to wear a sweater or a cardigan or something because it's chilly in my house. And then in the afternoons, I'm wearing a t-shirt or, you know, a short sleeve knit or whatever because it's warm. Well, I was wearing this one yesterday morning. This is the Hymethafen by Isabel Kramer, and I love this. It was made out of 10 pure Ghent. I absolutely love this. But I was wearing it, and I felt something, and it felt a little funky. And it was. I have a hole. I have a hole right there. I have grabbed and put my yarn on little, oh, hang on. I've got one that I didn't get a hold of. Where'd it go? No. Oh, never mind. I guess I did. I put it on the little bulb stitch markers to hold it, but I am torn. Part of me says, because I've got plenty of yarn, and if I need to buy more, Letha's got more in the same dye lot and everything, but I've got plenty of yarn left. Part of me says I need to just cut right there and just rip back to above the white and do this. I'd kind of like to make this a little longer, so if I do that, I will add a row of the white. So I'll add one more and then knit down and bind off. I've got plenty of yarn to do it. Part of me says, just go ahead and do that, and then you can modify and do what you want to do. Part of me says, ooh, I'd really love to like just mend the hole and learn how to do that, because I know there's ways to do that. So here's my ask for you. What do y'all think? Should I modify it? Should I just bite the bullet? It's not that much knitting. Just rip that out, rip it back up here, do the dip stitch, then add another row of dip stitches in the white, and then knit. So I've modified it a little bit. I should have done that to begin with. It's just a tad short. I wear it and I love it, but it's just a tad short. And I'm honestly not sure what I did here. I think that I caught it on something and I wound up ripping. I'm just not sure. I'm not positive what happened there. But it was fine when I put it on yesterday in the morning. And then I felt this whenever I was like, ooh, I'm getting a little bit warm. And I was like, ooh, something doesn't feel right. So I don't know. I don't remember catching it on something, but that doesn't mean I didn't. Anything could have happened. So let me know, should I just go ahead and bite the bullet and do that? Or should I mend it? And if you say I should mend it, I would love it if you would drop a link to a mending video that you think is great or that you have used in the past. I am not giving this up because it was one of my favorite sweaters. So I'm either going to rip it back and redo, or I'm going to mend. But this is not going anywhere. It will be fixed. And that is why you don't sell your scraps. Because I could have sold my scraps, but I'm glad I held on to them, because I would just have to buy some more because I would need to do some mending. But this is why I keep, and I'm not going to turn the camera around there now, but if I look over there, I've got two, you know those little things you can buy at Walmart that are like plastic? I actually used them as my dressers whenever I was moving around for contracting. But they have three drawers, and they're fairly deep drawers. I mean, like I said, I used it for my dresser, right? I had my underwear and my socks and stuff like that in there as I was traveling. But now that's where I keep my, one side I have like my cotton yarns and stuff that I use for baby things. Some True Boo, some 24/7 cotton, some, or not True, yeah, I've got some True Boo, but I've also got Kobu over there, and then some of the softy cotton. So things that I make baby things out of. And then the other side is all of my leftover yarns, like things that I have left over at the end of a project. I'm really glad I hadn't got rid of stuff, because this shows why you should keep it. All right. And then this, guys, is where I switched to acquisitions, and I actually have quite a few this week. I told y'all I'm like Pavlov's dog when it says sale. And let's start with Woolly Knit. So they did an Easter sale where they did free international shipping. And it's about $25 or $30 for up to 2 kilograms. And that's only four cones. And these cones are pretty cheap. Really good deals. And so I decided, since they did a free up to 2 kilograms, that I would go ahead and get some. And I'll start out with, this is the merino. I got 1 merino and then 2 British wools. This is Frambuesa Pink. One of my very favorite colors of pink. I love, 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 love this color. And I got this, and then I got, this is, I don't think it's called neon green, but it is a beautiful, beautiful neon green, lime green. And I got these two to go together. This is actually British wool and not merino, but I got these two to go together, and I'll put a picture up of what I'm going to do, and I can actually show you. I'll put the picture up though, because it'll be easier to see. But it is going to be the Candle Arella pullover. And it is by Teddy Letzik. I'll put a picture up. You'll be able to see it better. But it is going to be absolutely stunning. The pink will be the main color, and then the lime green will be the contrast color. So I got these two. And then in addition to these, I got 2 cones of the British wool. I did not want a full cone of this. I knew I just wanted to use it as a contrast color. This is 200 grams, so I'm going to have some left over. Might do some contrast color and something else. But I knew I didn't want a cone of that. But I got, this is Corvette Blue, I believe is the color. And it's a little squished. It came a little squished. But yeah, it is Corvette Blue. And then this one here is Orchard Plum. It is a beautiful, it's kind of a purpley burgundy. I mean, it's a burgundy that lends more purple than red. It is absolutely stunning. Haven't decided what this is going to be yet, but this is going to be the Together. It also is down here. It is a Claudia Quintanilla pattern. She had it free just a couple of weeks ago. Together Apart sweater. And I'll put a picture of it up here. And it, I'm going to hold, let me reach back here and get this, that beautiful royal blue mohair that I got from Rowan that was discontinued. I'm going to hold those together. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to hold this together and I'll do the Together Apart sweater. And I may have enough to do another sweater. Who knows? Maybe I'll have enough to do a contrast with this and this. That would also be a pretty contrast. So I got those. And like I said, I got free shipping. So that was a pretty big discount. And then I also got, and I forgot to bring them in here, but I got shade cards for the merino and the British wool as well, so that I can see what colorways I might want to get when they do their Black Friday sale and stuff, when they do a pretty big discount. Excuse me. And then I've had two of the Wool Warehouse. I ordered two orders from them, and both of them came in. One of them was what I told y'all last week, which is the Candy Girl. I got 6 skeins of these because they're having a 30% off Rowan sale. And I love this color and I love this yarn. So I did get this. They will do it again. I'm holding myself back. I'm not buying anything. Well, I am buying a few things where I needed like 1 skein of this or 1 skein of that just to complete a sweater that I'm going to do that's a Marie Wallen. And so I'm ordering those. I've got another Wool Warehouse that I'm going to order. But I got this. And then the other things that I got, their snow is on sale this month. So I got and brought in here all 3 colors. It fell back here. I was like, I know that I had them all. I'm not going to make the sailor slipper. There's another slipper called Sarah's something slipper that's very, very similar. I'm just not going to make the sailor slipper. I just don't like how she handled the crochet version of it. I understand why. I understand what happened, but I just think she could have handled it a little bit better. And so I just decided there is an alternative. I'm going to use it. And I don't know why these 2 people didn't go at it, because they're both knitted and they both look the same. But I got these. These are going to be the stripes, and then this will be the I-cord around it. And I'm going to make myself some first. So I got 2 of each of these and just 1 of these. I'm going to make myself some first because I want to see how easy they are and whether I like them or not. Because if I do, then I'll just make everybody slippers and I'll let them pick out their colors. My brother's will be yellow and brown because that's the colors he's picked out already. And I'll let Shauna pick some, and I'll let Brandon pick some, and Sarah pick some, and Cameron can pick some. Cameron won't wear them around the house. They'd be too dangerous, but they would be good to keep his feet warm while he's laying around. So I'll make everybody some of these. If I don't like knitting them, and I don't like how they turn out, nobody will get slippers. And that's okay. Everybody's getting sweaters, right? All right. And speaking of sweaters, I already showed you the one that I bought, and I did buy a sweater quantity of that for Sarah's sweater. And then I bought some other. Brandon and Sarah have 3 like weenie dogs. And so I'm going to make them little coat or jackets, whatever they're called, the little shirt things that they do. And I got a blue and a green, and I already have a red. Can I find the red anywhere? No, so I'm just going to throw one in. And one of these will make the shirt for them. So I'm going to make them each one. I'm going to do blue, red, and green just for the primary colors. Or not primary, because green's not primary, yellow is. But I don't like yellow, so they're getting blue, red, and green. And then I had Letha order me some superwash for Brandon's sweater, and it was taking a really long time to come in. It's Cascade. And then I'm kind of glad that I did go ahead and pull the trigger on just getting some colors to look at, because their navy blue is not navy. And it is not a blue that Brandon will wear. So that is, we're done. We can't, and none of the colors that came in looked right. They weren't the right colors. So I went ahead and I pulled the trigger, and I did get some colors to look at. This is the navy blue, which this is a color he will wear. So I will wind up, I'm going to wind up doing the Wool Warehouse, the Merino DK, in the Yarn Smiths. And I got this color as well to check, and it's just $32.90. I forget the name of it. This is too light. And this is closer to what came in for the Cascade. The Cascade's a little bit brighter than this, but this is just not a color that he's going to wear. He will wear the navy blue, so I'll wind up getting the navy blue. And then I got the dark green and the dark brown. So these are all good. And then I got 3 of the different colors for the white background around the brown. And I'll put the picture up here of the moose sweater. And this is the one that I'm going to wind up going with. And this is their cream color. I got a couple of other ones to check. This to me is it's too yellow. I don't like it as much as the whiter. And then this one that I got is too pink. This is out for sure. And like I said, I think the one is too yellow. I really like this one better, I think, than that one. That's just too yellow. So I think I'm going with these 4, and I'll be pulling the trigger because I need to do it before the Rowan 30% off sale is done to get those felted tweeds and the colorways that I need for that Marie Wallen sweater. And I'll put a picture of that one up here too, probably whenever I talked about it before. But I'll make sure that picture is up there. I'm just doing the colors that she did. They did discontinue one of the colors though. So I'm getting 2 different colors to see which one I like better with the other colors that I'm doing. I've been slowly but surely just getting the yarn as I've gone along, as I've found them here and there. Clay is the last one that I need to pull the trigger on. I've got 2 balls of it, and I think I need like 10 or 11. But I'm in no hurry for it because I'm not going to cast that on probably for another year or so. So I've just been gathering it up as I go. And they're out of clay, so I couldn't even get the clay there. They're sold out. All right. And so that is what I got this week. Like I said, next week I will have some. Hopefully my whole scarn will come in. I do not understand. I ordered the whole scarn before I ordered this last Wool Warehouse with the mohair. I don't know why. And yes, I know that Denmark's a little bit further than the UK, than England. But it seems to sit in customs forever when it comes from Denmark. It takes a really long time for me to get my whole scarn stuff usually. And the UK stuff just came in. I mean, that was a week. That took a week to get here. So Denmark, my whole scarn's still in customs. Hopefully I'll have it by next week. And then I doubt I'll have the other Wool Warehouse because I hadn't pulled the trigger on yet. I did pull the trigger. I got I want to do some needle comparisons of some different Chalgoos. And they're ones that Letha doesn't carry. I already have the metal and I have the bamboo. So I went ahead and ordered what's it called? Their new 4. I forget the name. And then their carbons. They're carbon. I think they're Forte and carbon. Anyway, I decided I'd do a little needle comparison with them. I like square needles. So I thought that I'd just do a one-off order and just try those out. And do a little comparison and let y'all know what I think. All right. Well, that is it, guys. I am done. And until next week, but remember to let me know whether you would be interested in a cowl and whether you think that I should go back, rip this out and redo, or if I should just try to mend. All right. And I think there was one other thing that I asked about. I don't remember now. But you'll see it. So just go ahead and drop those comments down in the comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying my channel. All right, guys, I will see y'all next week. I hope y'all have a wonderful knitty week.